Hey guys, so this is Holly at Thronatisca, and today we're actually going to talk about something really cool. We're going to talk about terrestrial biomes. So just to let you know what a biome is, it is actually an area of certain species. It's actually classified by the species in it of plants and animals, and this is different from like a lot of people use the term ecosystem. This is different from that because the ecosystem, it actually has to do with the interaction of living and non-living things in that. So a biome can contain many ecosystems, just to let you know. And we're going to talk about the ones on land. So you can actually see that the terrestrial biomes they're actually classified according to the moisture and then also their temperature. So it really depends. You can actually see that triangle. You can see on one side it is increasing temperature, and then increasing dryness is on the bottom. So if we go to this picture, you can actually see the world map. So you'll notice that there's no dark green of the tropical forest anywhere near the top of the world around the poles. So like the North Pole is going to be really cold, where the equator is going to be really warm. So that has a lot to do with it. And then also the moisture depends on the precipitation, if it rains a lot there. So let's talk about our first one, which is the desert. Now, in the desert, there's not a whole lot of rain, first of all. There's not a whole lot of anything other than sand, and the plants that live in the desert are adapted to live in the desert by storing water in their trunks or their leaves or their stems. So you have cacti, and you have these little shrubs, and maybe a small tree or two, but they are also armed with prickly spines and needles to protect them from animals. So they can go a really long time by storing the water in those trunks and the parts of the plant. So the next one is the chaparral. Now, a lot of people confuse a chaparral with a desert, but they are different. The chaparral, it actually receives more precipitation than the desert does, but it's still going to have some of the same terrain as far as that. It's more shrubs and smaller plants. The next one after chaparral is going to be grasslands. So we have grasslands that are awesome for our pollinators. They can contain up to, thousands of different types of grasses. And in drier grasslands, you're going to have shorter grasses that are about 1 foot or 2 tall. But then in wetter grasslands, they can grow up to 6 feet tall, which is just crazy. So they also have lots of wildflowers in them. Definitely one like this one. And the pollinators actually, they love those types of wildflowers. So the next one is going to be the savanna. Now the savanna is really cool. A lot of times people associate this with Africa because there's a huge African savanna. So in the savanna, there are lots of grasses and scattered trees that can survive their dry season. So the way they do this is something similar to the desert, but they will actually store the water in their bulbs or roots, and they actually will have certain types of plants will actually have a taproot that will go way down, and then it actually pulls the water from that low water table so it can survive. Also, something that's really fun about this picture in particular is there is a hidden animal. So those grasslands in the savanna, those grasses actually hide several different animals. But I want to see if you can find the cheetah in that bottom picture. There is a cheetah hiding and using that grass as a camouflage. So our next one is going to be our tundra. So our tundra is actually going to be at the top, so it's going to be closer to the North Pole or the South Pole, as that may be. Grasses, shrubs, herbs, and lichens actually grow in the tundra, and they have a special way of making sure that they can survive those icy winds. They grow really low to the ground, and then they grow in groups, so they can kind of help each other against the elements. And so they have a very short growing season because they have a short summer. But what they'll do is they're actually, most of them are perennials, so they can survive during the winter. They'll go dormant, and then back when it comes spring, they will actually come back from that same root that was there. So super, super cool. And that's just some of our terrestrial biomes. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.